What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Coming on here today, I'm gonna get right to it. Ran across a post on Instagram. It wasn't somebody that I was following. It just happened to be a post that I saw this morning. So the post was from, you guys can go look this up, Ghana Post. So it's a channel that is basically about Africans. Like you said, the channel is called Ghana Post. So, and it's not just in Ghana, but around the world. So the particular post that was up was I believe it was a black man or African that is living in the Ukraine. And as you know, Russia has bombed the Ukraine, invaded, and it's horrible what's going on. But at the same time, this African man that's over there, that's trying to escape from Ukraine, just like everybody else, was reporting his experience, or writing down posting his experience through social media. And what he was saying is, and I'll try to put that up somewhere around either here or here so everybody can read it. Or you can go to Ghana Post on Instagram. But what he was saying is that they are giving blacks, Africans, African Americans a hard time on trying to leave the Ukraine. I saw other posts besides his that described that in order to leave, the list went women, children, men, then African Americans. Now let that sit in for a minute. They're in a time of war, where the shit has hit the fan. I've seen videos over there where people are laying dead on the ground. I've seen old ladies sitting on benches with covers, shivering with blood on their face. I've seen the pictures from different news outlets that show the buildings being blown apart, helicopters flying over and dropping bombs. But it's still enough time in the day to be racist. And it just was a sickening thought that in a time of crisis, in a time of where all hell is breaking loose, your homes are being destroyed, people are being killed, they're killing off your livelihood, everything is being disturbed. At a time where you should be more concerned, and the government should be more concerned of the safety for all citizens. Black, white, it don't matter what color you are, they should be concerned for all citizens. That in this time, you still find time to be racist. And we don't name the post never named any race except Africans. So you telling me that within the Ukraine, that even from America to there, a black life is not worth a white life? So you telling me around the world that the value on an African or a black person's life is less than a white person or Ukrainian? People are trying to save their children, save their families, and get out. And at that same time, you can discriminate during war. And I know it happened here in the United States. There were black soldiers that came back from war and were lynched and killed when they got back home for fighting for this country. And, you know, people will sit and say, oh, there's no racism. oh, you know, any man can lift himself up from his bootstraps, and if he continues to give the good fight, he can make it anywhere. Come on now. And people ask me why I want to go back to Africa. People look at me crazy when I say our time is up here. It really is. There is nothing left for us here. Most of us, I believe, and I hate to even say it, are brainwashed to believe that this is an equal world that we live in, when it's not. If you have, if somebody was in a school, if somebody came to a school or a church or some type of building that held hundreds of people, as a black man, I would be concerned on helping everybody exit the building. I would be concerned on everybody getting to safety. If I saw a white person, Mexican person, I don't care. If it was a woman with 3 kids and she was trying to get out the building, I don't care what color that woman is, I am going to stop and help. I don't care if the woman had just cursed me out. I'm not going to let the children suffer for what that woman did. So you telling me during a time of panic, war, and things of this sort, that you have the time to even write that we're going to still separate race? So in whatever leader it was, whatever person came up with that rule that Ukrainians first, women and children first, then the men, then the Africans. You're telling me that at that time, racism was in your forefront. To say, before you know what, we need to put out a statement saying that us Ukrainians are first, and these Africans, they can just wait. They were denying some of them to cross over to the border, saying that they had weapons. But now they wouldn't let the Africans across the border, but they were letting the Ukrainians across. So if I'm over in this country and I get citizenship and I'm considered now legally a Ukrainian, or however it's said, that I'm still black. We still separate you even though you got citizenship. So you can pay your taxes. You can obey the laws. You can respect the laws. You can respect your neighborhood. You can do all these things. You can go to work every day, but you ain't still considered black. You ain't nothing but black. I remember watching years ago a comedy hour that Whoopi Goldberg did. And she talked about how she had a problem with her skin complexion being so dark, and she wanted to lighten her skin complexion. And so what she did was she took bleach and poured it in the tub and sat in it, not knowing that that wasn't the way to go about it. And her mother told her, you can sit in that bleach until Jesus come back, because you still ain't gonna be nothing but black. And I say it to say is, I don't care. Now, if you live in your life, that's fine, but I don't care. We have people out here that try to impress other races to make it so they fit in. They make other races feel comfortable being around them. And let me tell you something. This shows me, and I've already known it, that I don't care how bad you try to fit into this American dream. I don't care how bad you try to fit into what makes other people comfortable, other people safe. when the shit hits the fan, they're going to turn around and look at you and still see black. And if you understand the method of thinking, black comes with everything negative to them. So, just like back in slavery days, where we were listed right along with cattle, right now we are listed right along with things that you don't need. You can imagine if somebody was leaving their home during a time of war, they would only grab the things that they truly needed to survive, and maybe one or two keepsakes. You're not about to grab the 62-inch or 65-inch TV off the wall. You're not about to grab the whole refrigerator and try to take it with you. What you're going to try to do, you're going to try to grab the necessities that you need to get to the next point, to get out of this country or get away from where the war is going. But in that country's mind, what you're saying is the most important thing to us to pack is our people. And then to make sure that it's understood, women and children first, Ukrainians, then Africans, if it's room. Then I saw another post where a lady was saying this was a contact number to get in contact with some center or whatever that made it buses or whatever available for Africans to get out of the country. In war, if they bombing us, how do we become separated? If war from another country is coming and they're attacking us, because if Russia's sending bombs, they don't care if it's Ukrainians, if they black, white, Hispanic, they don't care. Whoever is in that building, whoever is on that land, whoever they feel, whoever's in that country, you getting bombed. They're not going to separate it. They're not going to say, hey, black people, we don't have nothing against y'all. Move out the way. No, that ain't how that works. What they do is they come in and they bomb. It's not even a thought. I guarantee it's not a thought. They don't care. Putin over there, he don't care what color you is. He has a plan in mind, and he's going to implement that plan and make it happen. But yet and still, you on the other side being attacked. Millions of lives are at risk, and you worried about black people. Make them last. Make sure every train knows it, every bus knows it. Don't let them out the country. And the other countries that they run into, don't let them in the country. If I'm in the neighborhood and I get into a shootout, and the people that's shooting at me, and I got people on my side that's shooting at them, and I might not even know these people, but they helping me because they shooting in that direction, so they don't know who they shooting at. You think I'm going to turn around and look and say, hey, Mexican guy, don't shoot for me. Hey, white guy, don't shoot for me. Hell no. Keep on shooting until we get up out of here. And we're going to go together. I don't give a care what color you is. And I'm not going to go through that normal list like people do. I don't care if you're pink, blah, 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 blah. We all deserve an equal chance to survive. it was no difference than when you look back on the marches that took place back in Selma and plenty other places where there were rainbow of people that would come out to march. There were a rainbow of people that would get their head busted, put in jail, killed, stabbed, spit on, hung from trees. Now, it was majority blacks, but it was a lot of other races out there, whites, Mexicans, that they stood with the blacks for the cause. And they suffered right along with them. There were students that were of all different colors that went down to march, and some of them disappeared, white and black. But it really saddens me when in a time of panic, a time of disgust, a time of where you really don't understand what is going on, or you really don't understand why us, or you really don't understand as people, what do I have to do with government decisions? So my government did this or won't do that or whatever the case may be, and you take it out on everybody. And during this time, the government officials still have the time to be racist. That's sad. You know, I heard a man yesterday. It was a Instagram video. And it was a white guy. And he was talking about how he went to a major league game. I don't remember if it was baseball, football, or whatever. And he said he left his phone. He had dropped his phone. And he went back to the stadium. And he said he couldn't get nobody to go look for his phone. And they had locked up the stadium and everything. He saw a janitor. And he asked the janitor, "Can you please go look for my phone? It was in section such and such, and this seat has got to be right there." So the janitor told him, okay. The man talked about how he watched that janitor walk across the whole field to get to the other side. The janitor comes back with the phone. He says during the time they was waiting for the janitor to come back, him and his friends scrounged up as much money as they could. He said they had $66. And they tried to get his $66 to the man. And the man told them, "No, I don't need your money. But what I need you to do is, I want you, from this day forth, anytime that you see a veteran, I want you to shake their hand and tell them, 'Welcome home.'" And the man he said he didn't understand until the guy explained it to him that when the soldiers came home from Vietnam, and I believe it was Vietnam, he said they were never welcomed home. And I can only imagine it was during protests, the freedom, and peace and love and all that was going on. And they came home to no welcome for no fault of their own, that they signed up to fight for this country and were sent over to another country to fight. And when I think about this, and we know black soldiers came home from war, and they have pictures of them being snatched off the bus with the uniforms on, strung up in trees, beaten, spit on, drugged. And it's something that I could never understand, that you could hate a race so much that during times where we should all stick together, in the worst times. I mean, you could take some of the worst places in the world where tribes might not get along, where two countries or more won't get along, But when something comes as a threat to everybody, those tribes will come together and fight back. Those countries will come together and fight back. But at this time, the Ukraine decided no matter what's going on, you still black, and we still believe you have no value. And for me, it's something that happens in the United States every day. I believe that we as blacks, we create so much, and everything that we create, other races find ways to make money off of it, how to steal it, how to take it, how to get to the point where a black person will create something and they will take it and you won't see a dime. I know companies that have come in and taken something that we all knew somebody black created. Took it for their own, and at the same time disown that product or that certain show from black folks and made it into something else. Now, I don't want to get off topic and go into all the racial injustice that I see. The times, this new cancel culture, which only takes place with blacks. Which I don't believe when it comes to cancel culture that blacks should even take a part in that. If something is going on and you have other races, white races, doing it, but when a black man does it, it's a problem. We need to cancel him. We should need to make sure that he doesn't get any more business. We need to make sure that nobody will let him be on their platform, or he or she. We need to make sure that they get fired from their show. We need to make sure that they are not, they won't be getting any contracts with any products like Nike or whatever, endorsement deals. You know, you can even look at R. Kelly. And everything that I see that they talked about that R. Kelly did was wrong. To the T. But at the same time, I look at how many other pedophiles are within us. And I'm not going to say within us, but I mean around us. I'm talking about big stars. People that you know have been to court. People that we don't know that have been to court that paid people off. But let them be black. They're going to be prosecuted to the fullest of the law. They're going to make sure that you are made a mockery of. They're going to make sure that anything that you have took years to build will be looked back at and covered up and made shame of by your actions, guilty or not guilty. But we have pedophiles that's walking around Hollywood every day. A black person says something about a group of people or just speaks the truth, and your voice will be, or they will try to cancel you, mute you. And you could have been speaking the truth. We've seen it with Nick Cannon. We've seen it with Whoopi Goldberg. And we've seen these people come and have to make public apologies for something they know they still believe in. Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from her show for making a comment which she believed in. I can't say if it's I can't say if it's wrong or right. Nick Cannon said some things. He was canceled. But you have people like Joe Rogan that can use the N-word several times on different episodes of his podcast, not be canceled. You don't hear these people coming out like, well, we're going to cancel him. Don't support him. Take him down. You don't hear that. So don't tell me it's not racial. This man, I listened to the video of Joe Rogan talking about going to a black neighborhood to go see Planet of the Apes. And as he keeps referring to going to this black neighborhood, he just keeps saying, we're going to see, we were going to see Planet of the Apes. We're going to see Planet of the Apes. And it was like, there is no way that you can tell me that wasn't racial. And then what does he do? He comes on and gives an apology, and they took it out of context, and they cut the video. That's not what I mean. I thought it was the most hilarious thing to sit there and watch Planet of the Apes at a black theater, and the things they were yelling out was hilarious. But the saddest thing about it is that they won't forgive us. And what we'll end up doing is, whoever that black person is, we'll support that person as black people. We don't care if that black person is crossed over and is acting like a coon or whatever. We'll take them back in with open arms. Come on back home. Come on back home. But sometimes, what kills me, and I saw this yesterday, I was downtown Detroit, and a young black guy was walking by, and he had just got done shopping at H&M. I watched a video of Jim Jones in the Gucci store going ham because of the service that he was getting. And he was in VIP. They hadn't brought him any water, any champagne, and these are all the perks of being VIP. I think he said he was spending over $25,000 altogether, him and his entourage. But I guarantee people won't stop buying Gucci. H&M, they had their thing. And when I seen that brother, I say, we are so quick to forgive. Even now with me, as far as Joe Rogan being on Spotify, and Spotify paying him, I think he's getting like $1 million an episode or something like that, and not canceling him. And I was thinking to myself, well, do I cancel my Spotify subscription? NDRE put her music off of Spotify. They said a couple of other artists put their music from Spotify. And it was like, well, that's where I listen to my music. All my music is on there. I got tons of music that, that I... But we are so forgiving. because these places or these things hold value to us individually. Also, I won't stop my Spotify because that's where my music is. Like, I can't get it from nowhere else. I'm not going to stop shopping at H&M because they got the best deals. But they've shown that they don't give a damn about black people. Gucci has come with so many different things that show that they don't care about black culture. I'm not going to say culture. They don't care about black people, but they care about the culture because they make money off the culture. That's why they pull a Dapper Dan in. They have been doing his own thing for years. And for him, it's a congratulations because it's like I finally got the respect. But then that goes back to killing yourself to get respect from another race when you already had the respect of your own race. But it's not good enough. I saw Halle Berry do an interview with Gail, and Gail kept asking her, well, how do you feel that you are the last black woman that won an Academy Award? And Halle Berry had to say, she said, well, I don't think like that. She said, it's true and it's sad, but I don't think like that. I'm stopped looking for other people's validation. Other races, we should not have to fight for their validation. We have to learn to love ourselves enough where we don't give a damn how somebody feels about us. Give a damn about how they treat you. Give a damn about the laws, the police. And it's been shown all over the world that I don't care what's going on around the world. The world could be ending. But we're not letting go of racism. We're going to hold on tight to this. And then some say that the racism is out of them knowing that if we ever come up, we will take over. A lot say that racism is taught and it's passed down. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck how it is. How a person becomes racist, who teaches them. But I just want this shit to stop. But in my reality, and this may not be yours, but what I see, it's never going to stop. We can, as individuals, accept people for who they are. We can live our lives in a perspective of judging people for who they are, loving them for who they are, no matter what color, no matter what religion. And that's the best we can do. Because racism has a strong hold on this world, not this country that we live in, the United States. Not just the United States, but the world. Race can be used to make money. Race can be used to divide a people, to keep money going into a certain area. Race can be used to keep a people down, stop them from trying to overthrow the government or taking over the government, because if I keep you separated, I keep you under control. So, if I teach you that black is bad Black people are always up to no good. They sneaky, they conniving, they untrustworthy, they're dirty, they're less than. I can keep you controlled on what you buy, how you treat them, and how you vote. If I can scare you into believing that black people are, or black men are super predators, I can keep you scared enough as white, Chinese, Mexican, or whatever you are. I can keep you scared of these people and believe that they don't deserve equal rights. I can have you believe that they are not equal to you because they are a threat to your livelihood, to your safety, to your country, and that you would be better without them. If I can keep racism going, I can keep groups of races from reaching a certain plateau together. I can keep them in certain neighborhoods. There's so much that goes into it that I don't believe that it will ever end. And I think Ukraine is definitely a example how it doesn't matter what situation it is. It don't matter what's going on. It don't matter how fucking hard times get. Racism is here. And I know it's not only black people, but I think we get the gist of it. More than the gist of it. And it's been going on for way too long. I heard a YouTuber that moved to Africa. He said that somebody told him he was running away from the fight because he no longer wanted to live in the United States. And I've heard this more than once from YouTubers, that somebody has either emailed them, left a message in the comments, and made the statement, "Oh, you ran away. You didn't want to stay and fight for your country. You didn't want to fight for freedom of speech, freedom of, for your rights and this and that." No. It's not that they ran away. It's that they knew that the freedom would never be here. So let me go back home. And I get people that, it's a hard thing, not only as black people, but as a black man, to get somebody to understand that feeling of racism that you feel almost on a daily. To ride down the street, maybe in the suburbs or in a different neighborhood, and see the police, and regardless if you got insurance, up-to-date tags, license, everything can be straight, and you still feel some type of way. To get in an elevator with a white person or another race and watch a woman clutch her purse. You could get on the elevator with a white woman and have on, or sometimes other races, I've seen it too. You could have on a $50,000 watch, a pair of $800 shoes, and have that woman's 5 years of her salary in your pocket. And to watch her clutch her purse, to watch her cross the street when she sees you coming, that's a feeling that only a black man can feel. Me and my wife go into places, and I can be laughing with her, smiling or whatever, and people will walk past me as they going and speak to her. And she says, you know, a lot of times my wife will say, well, you do look mean sometimes. I said, babe, we both look mean. I done told you about it. But what it is you light skinned and I'm dark skinned. And a lot of times other races will feel more comfortable around a light skinned person than they do a dark skinned person, let alone a black man. Everywhere we go, people speak to my wife. And it's not like we know the people or anything. These people just in the store or at the restaurant. And a lot of times, they won't even look at me while they're talking. They'll look directly at her. And you ask me, well, does it bother me? No, because I don't give a fuck. But I notice. I've noticed since I was younger how different, in different situations when coming in contact with other races, that, and black men, you can comment, where they shake your hand, and as they put their hand down, they wipe it off on the side of their hip. Hold on, y'all. Let me close this door. Sorry about that, y'all. The greenhouse door blew open. And at about to be 47, March 11th. And over 40-something years, 47 years, as time goes on, and all these things are layered on top of each other. And it's not like it's layered and it stops. It's layering and it's continuing. I've watched other black men shake men of other races' hands, mostly white men, and they'll shake hands, and the white guy will pull his hand back and wipe it off on his pants. I've seen where I've walked in a restaurant and there is a look that certain other races do. And I know I'm not the lightest person in the room. Never am I the lightest person in the room. When I come in super packed with melanin. And I'm proud of it. If I could be blacker, I would. Because if it bothers you, me being this black, I'm glad it does. And that goes for white people and black people. Or any other race. Because the blacker I am, the more I feel connected to my people. The blacker I am, the more I feel connected to Africa. To my roots. And it may sound funny to you, but it brings peace to me. It brings joy to my heart that I can reflect somewhere that I've never been. But I know where I'm from. I know that's where I'm from. But the main purpose of this video was just to give you a perspective on how I feel. Or not even how I feel, but just that racism is that strong. That's a sad, 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 sad thought. That you just have to get comfortable with. That this day and age, 2022, racism is just as strong as it was way back when. 400 years ago? Through slavery times, through marching times, through Malcolm X times, through Martin Luther King times, through all these decades, it's just as strong. And people say, well, we everywhere. We have so much influence on the culture. We have so much influence on fashion. We have so much influence in music. And they still don't give a fuck. You have people that enjoy the culture, enjoy the music, enjoy everything that we do, from playing football to baseball to running track, whatever you do. But they don't like you. They don't like black people as a whole. There are people out there that are racist and don't even know it. Their favorite athlete will be black. And they'll hold that athlete to this way up here. But they don't want to see no black people move in their neighborhood. They see that black athlete or that black star, oh yeah, they're going to run, they're going to want to get autographs, they're going to do everything, they're going to cry and all that. But let a black person move next door. They're going to give you a hell of a time. Anything you do that they think is suspicious, they'll be looking out the window. Anything that you do they think is illegal, they'll be calling the police. And you may think, oh, he just going overboard. Shit. The devil is a lie. I've been through it. I've had my neighbors call the police. I've had my neighbors tell the city that my house was rat infested. The neighbor even went so far as to catch 4 rats on his property, then take them and line them up on my property all together and call the city. Then I find out that he was friends with the guy from the city that he called out. I had the same neighbors call the police because my dog was loose. But this same neighbor would walk down the street with a beer in her cozy with no leash on her dog, which is the law. So what makes you better than me? What makes the rules apply for me but don't apply for you? I watched this same neighbor. She would have 2 or 3 yard sales every summer. And people we was only allowed to park on the opposite side of the street. People would pull up in this yard sale, park dead in front of my house, in front of her house, and go into this yard sale. And she would never say a word. I threw an open house. I don't know if my daughter's 16th birthday I threw a party. It was the party or it was the open house I threw. Everybody was coming over. And so people would pull up, bring stuff in the house, and go back out and move their car. This neighbor brung her stinking ass out her house to come knock on my door to tell me, they can't park on this side of the street. I said, did you call me over here for this? Did you come over here for this? She was like, oh no, I'm just letting you know. What she was letting me know is what's good for the gander ain't good for the goose. I can do what I want to because this is my neighborhood. You can't do what you want to because you are a guest. You are just a guest in my neighborhood. And I'm going to let you know what I'm not going to tolerate because I'm privileged and this is my neighborhood and it's not yours. So I can do what I want over here, but you're going to follow the rules. Do you hear me, black man? You're going to follow the rules. And I'm going to make sure of it because if you don't, every time you do something, I'll call the police and I'll call the city out and I'll call your landlord to let him know that you're doing this and doing that. They called my landlord for everything. We had a privacy fence in between the houses. And I had a steel panel, nothing heavy, not even 20 pounds, 25 pounds. And the panel was linked against the gate. Now, mind you, this gate runs from in between our yards to separate the yards. The same neighbor, her husband, called my landlord and told him, can you tell him to get that fencing off of the gate? Because I don't want him messing up my gate. The landlord said, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know why he keeps calling. And I believe, and I know for a fact what they was trying to do was trying to get me kicked out. But I was paying my rent. We wasn't tearing up the house. When he would have to come do something, he would thank us. Thank me for keeping his house up in good condition. After that, he called the neighbor. The neighbor called him again, and he has those dogs over there, and they're leaving dog dust on my gate. What the hell is dog dust? After that, the landlord came over and he was like, I don't know what's going on. We've never had a problem, and he didn't want to say it. Now, mind you, my landlord was white. And he didn't want to say it like, oh, there's some racial stuff going on. And he said, and I asked him flat out because I didn't want to beat around the bush. I said, do you plan on evicting me? Let me know now so I can take necessary precautions so I can move out. And because I don't want this disturbing me and my children. He said, no, I don't want to evict you. You haven't done anything. He said, I just want to stop the bitching. But the whole time, they was next door trying to get me evicted. At the time, I owned a cleaning service. And it was a commercial cleaning service. Commercial cleaning service. So what I decided was, I wanted to promote my business, so I went and had business cards made. When I had my business cards made, I went and had magnets made, the large flat magnets that you put on your car with your business logo on them. And I put those on both sides of my car, trying to get business. Little did I know, this neighbor, one day my daughter's dog got out, little Shih Tzu. His name was Gizmo. And I get a phone call and I don't recognize the number. So I go and I look, I answer the phone and I'm like, hello? She's like, hey, Paul, this is your neighbor. Gizmo's out in the front yard. I say, who is this? And after she told me, I said, well, how did you get my number? Oh, off your car. And I can be petty, but I'm not a petty person. And these incidents began to make me petty. I had an enclosed porch. And when I would sit out on the porch, I would notice that they would come to the end of their window and basically try to be nosy to see what was going on, or if I had company or whatever. I had to put curtains up on my enclosed porch on their side so they couldn't see in. If I decided that it was a cool night outside and the moon was out, and I walked outside and was on the phone with somebody and I'm talking, standing in front of my property that I'm paying rent at, and I can just be talking, not loud, just talking, and it could be 6 in the evening, 7 in the evening, her husband would either come to the door or walk down the driveway every time, as if he thought that his presence would scare me to go back in the house. These different incidents went on, and it wouldn't happen every day. But here and there, it kept going on. We finally moved when my daughter went off to college. And there was a certain store in that neighborhood, because her husband wasn't working. I found out from another neighbor that told me he had cancer, stage 3 or stage 4 cancer. And he worked at this certain liquor store. And when I would go in this liquor store, even after moving, it was a part of me that really wanted to whoop this man's ass for the stuff he had put us through. Because it wasn't just me, it was my children too. You know, my son, and I didn't know this, my son had told me that one day he was outside smoking weed. And at the time in Michigan, it wasn't legal like it is now. And he said he knows for a fact the neighbor called the police on him. And when I would see this man, knowing that he had stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, even in this time where I could look at him in disgust, he would never speak. He would never even look me in the eye. And that tells you something. I still felt sorry for him. And I felt sorry to say, even during your cancer, you found time to be a racist. Even when you didn't know when would be your last day, even when you didn't know if you was going to wake up tomorrow, you still found time to be a racist. And the sad thing about it is, if you would have got to know me, if you would have came over even with a peace offering, you know, I brought over some beers. I would just like to sit and talk to you about what's been going on. You never know what type of bond. You never know what type of friendship that you missed out on. Because as a married man or a married woman, we all know we need somebody to talk to. Even if your marriage is good. Or just, even if it's not about marriage, just to have somebody to talk to. But in that time, You were so stuck up in your racism that knowing that you was going to die didn't even set you on a different path or give you a different mind state. I don't have time to be a racist. I don't have time to hate white people. I don't have time to hate Mexicans. I don't have time to hate for Asian hate. If you come around me, or if I know you, if I work with you, if you live next door to me, I'm going to take you for who you are. And that's how I'll deal with you accordingly. You know, because a lot of times people say, you know, I'm moving out of Detroit. I done had enough. I'm tired of the shooting. I'm tired of people driving crazy. I'm tired of whatever. I'm tired of the liquor store on every corner. I'm tired of you can't walk in a liquor store. It's 5 people standing outside the gas station. 5 people standing outside the liquor store. You can't even get in. Okay, that's cool. No problem. And I've been there. Believe me, I've been there. But at the same token, once you cross over to a suburban neighborhood where you are now the minority, and you come from the city where you're the majority, I don't know what the word I was about to use, you will quickly learn how you're not wanted there. And you can have the coolest neighbors. They can invite you to everything. They can come over the house, sit and talk. But within that neighborhood, within that police department, within those stores, within those restaurants, as a black person, you'll feel how you're not wanted there. So to me, I've lived next to black people that I wish they didn't live there. I wish they would move. I've had neighbors that I didn't like. I've lived next to white people that I wish they would move. Or not even, don't talk to me. But I've had black people the same way that I felt like I'm good. So for me, it's about the person. It's not about the race. And I believe in my heart, and I know how I carry myself, that I will never go to the point of turning my life into a mockery of trying to make others comfortable with what race I am by not doing this or not doing that because that makes them uncomfortable, or they don't like this, or they feel some type of way about that. But if we friends, I'll go out my way to let you know that I love you. I'll go out my way to come spend time with you, to let you know. Let you know, like, hey, we cool. I got love for you, and I'm going to show it. But in all honesty, as a black man, and all the racism that I felt, all the racism that has come my way in my lifetime, small, big, and everything in between, racism is not going anywhere. Placism is not going anywhere. It's almost like saying there'll never be another war. impossible. Because of the people that are on this earth, the people that continue to think the way they think in the same fashion, the people that are all about money and control. So, for me, when the time is right, I plan on getting out. You may say, do I hate the United States? Do I hate Detroit? Do I hate living here? No, I don't hate the United States. I believe that the United States could be a beautiful place. I believe that the United States, in a lot of individual areas, are beautiful. You have your melting pot areas, and I'm not saying everybody gets along, but everybody coexists. You have your beautiful people, and don't get me wrong, it's everywhere, and it's all different types of racism. But here, the racism is just pure, and I'm not saying any racism is good, but here it's pure evil when it comes to how black people are treated. And my main cause for wanting to leave, I would say that's a great part of it. But also, Africa is calling me. I feel it. I feel it in my soul. That I'm going to go visit first. Might even visit 2 or 3 countries before I make up my mind where I want to move to. But to just believe that no matter what's going on in the world, you could be dying from cancer and think to yourself, F that other race. That's a sad thought. It's disgusting. It's disgusting to think that men and women of color could sign up for the Army, Navy, Marines, and still go into service to this day and deal with racism. This person right behind you could save your life. But yet and still, you still can't leave racism behind. That's a sad, sad thought. But it's reality. It's the reality that we all live in. Some are blind. I've had some people, black people, that don't believe that racism exists anymore. A lot of us can walk around within our own world and not see what's right in front of our faces. Some of us walk around so engulfed in our lives, engulfed in what they're doing, that they become blind to what's going on. But me, when I walk around, what I see, and I think a lot of times in life, when you, it's like being in a relationship, and you realize that that person that you're with is not for you, or you realize that that person is cheating, or that person is abusive, verbally abusive. Because sometimes we can get in a relationship and at the beginning it's so beautiful that you are blinded to the things that's going on. You are blinded to the facts that this person talks to you any type of way, treats you any kind of way. They'll do for others before they do for you. And this is how America is. And until you get to seeing that this relationship is not for you and you shouldn't be in this relationship because it doesn't benefit you, you'll keep on believing the lie. You'll keep on believing and make yourself think that this is everything that I could need or want. Until you'll open your eyes and then you'll start seeing the smallest nuances. Oh, he cheating. She cheating. Oh, he don't treat me like a woman should be treated. She don't treat me had a respect that a woman should have for her man. And then once that little bit creeps in, you start to see the whole picture. You start to see that if a city like Detroit is probably 90-something% black, but the businesses that are open in the city are 90% or 70%, 65% of other cultures other than black, you'll start to see the difference. When you open your eyes and you see that every corner of a black neighborhood is a liquor store that's not owned by us. But when you go over to the suburbs, you don't see that. You'll get to see there's a problem. When you look and you see that neighborhoods have been let to run down, city services have stopped in that area, different things have been taken out of that area so that people will leave that area, the house prices will go down to the point where a house that was once $130,000, $200,000 is not even worth $25,000. So you can buy a plot of land next to you for $100. And then they come in, buy the land up, give you $5,000 to move out that house, renovate the whole area, and now those houses are worth $500,000. But you never saw the plan from the beginning. How can you have time for racism in a time of crisis, in a time of war, in a time where you don't know when you're going to die? And it got me to thinking, honestly, if racism is still that strong, what happened if it was the United States that was at war? What if we had another Pearl Harbor or something of that magnitude that was going on? Would the racists come out even more? Would the racism come out even more? Would the government do certain things that will put black people last to save more white lives? To have that much hate in your heart for another race. I don't have the time. Between paying bills, worrying about what needs to be paid, what needs to be done, the snow needs to be shoveled, is my daughter okay at college, How is my son doing over here? I want my children to prosper. I want my children to be happy. I want my children to be in good relationships. I want my children to be happy in their lives. I want to make my wife happy. I want to keep a smile on her face. I want to keep, let me go over here. It's Christmas time. I want to get some gifts. Not because of the season, but because I want them to know, like, here you go, to see the smile on their face. I'm worrying about, is my job at the factory going to come back up? When are they going to call me back to work? I'm worrying about, do that car need gas? Do I got to put gas in my truck today? Do I need an oil change? Do I need to go get my car washed? What kind of content am I going to put up on my YouTube channel? What can I make? What video can I make that'll touch people's heart, that they'll get a blessing out of it? What am I going to plant in my garden when the summer comes? What seeds am I going to start right now? What is my fat butt going to eat? Why is the dog barking? Lord, I'm so blessed. Lord, thank you, Jesus, on this Sunday. Thank you for providing a roof over my head. Thank you for the sun being out today. The last thought in my mind is, I hate them people over there because of their color. The last thought in my mind is, I don't want them to have better because they don't deserve it, because of their color. The last thought on my mind is being racist. Why wouldn't I want this man next to me to prosper? That's crazy. Out of all the things that we worry about, out of all the things that's going on in the world, you got time to be a racist? You got the time to say that the ceiling is caving in, the bombs is coming, they trying to kill us all. Don't let them black people on first. Make them last. Put them on the back of the bus. We ain't trying to hear what Rosa was talking about. Make sure they the last ones. I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. Do you have time for it? Do you still find time to be racist? I want you to win. I don't care what color you is. I want you to win. I want you to succeed. I want you to have the best of the best. I want you to be blessed and highly favored. But are you wishing the same thing for others? Or you might not even be thinking about it. You might got too much going on in your life. You might be dealing with COVID around here. You might be dealing with a divorce right now. You might be dealing with abandonment issues. You might be dealing with a unwanted pregnancy. You might be dealing with, it's so many things in this world we should be worried about. Homeless people. Veterans with no health care. Nobody to talk to. Not even be able to go get counseling. Drug addicts that want to get off drugs and don't have nowhere to go. Kids out here that's being abandoned and can't get adopted. I could throw a million things on your back for you to carry. And if you still worried about what color the person next to you is, what does that make you? me, I said it makes you a fucking idiot.